Prepare to be terrified. Lawford County Productions presents the Unlisted Owner Director's Cut, featuring 9 minutes of never-before-seen footage. Out now via Amazon streaming and coming soon to Blu-ray and DVD. You've been warned.
Hey there, and welcome to a very special crossover episode that we are going to be doing.
That we keep having every week.
Yeah. Well, this week is an official crossover. A lot of the other times it's like, well, fuck, you're doing that movie. I guess I gotta go on, and it's going.
Or I haven't been on for 8 weeks, so I'm just gonna hop on anyway.
Well, like who? Who did that?
I don't know. There, come shot.
It's everybody's choice. I don't force anybody to.
The only person who has to be here is JB.
Yeah, and I am, And if you also notice, I'm also the only one who doesn't bitch about it either way. So
oh, my hand is cramping up really bad, and I don't know why.
Oh, dick.
Mine is, that's from chronic masturbating. Anyway.
Oh, okay, good. That's why you're cum shot.
Perry, Mr. Nasty.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, Perry's awesome.
Love Perry. Me and Perry were actually talking about doing some shows with our bands next year. Yeah.
Well, hey Perry, you definitely got to reach out to me and Ron. We got our new band started. We got an EP going to be coming out probably in the next month or so. We are Bastard Sons of a Judas Pig. Yep. We only do Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat covers, but on different instruments,
like a Casio keyboard.
Yeah, and just cover songs, but
and I add some Himalayan goat yodeling.
I'm pretty sure we're definitely going to outsell Chuck's CDs, so it's going to be fun only doing covers of his songs. We've already
outsold his T-shirts.
Right. He says yes. He loves the idea. And then he also
skin
has
flutes are just an everyday thing.
And skin flutes.
Yeah.
Oh well, you'll have that sometimes. Yeah. But anyways, guys, we are here for our very, very fun crossover episode, our Halloween episode, guys. And for some reason. I guess we should probably get this out of the way before we introduce our guest. This film was chosen before the events of what recently happened. So we chose to do the film The Crow, and this film was picked out probably at least a week before the events with Alec Baldwin. 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So this is something that's. Just a full disclosure, just so everybody knows it wasn't something fully intentional.
And I'm on because to keep these guys from making any stupid comments. Isn't that right, cum shot?
You know what? I got a weird feeling that you're gonna have some comments.
I'm gonna be horrible. Here, I'm even getting my grandpa outfit off.
Oh shit, he's doing the Mr. Rogers thing. He's taking it off.
Yeah, because Mr. Rogers, he was a male stripper.
Almost
in Pittsburgh, him and George Romero.
See, Perry says worst movie ever made. so this is definitely going to be an interesting.
I hope he's not talking about Dawn of the Dead, because then we'll have issues.
I think he's talking about The Crow.
Oh well.
The Crow has a lot of special things for me, actually.
Why do you think he had a shape? Never mind.
I can definitely see. Well, and we also got Sean here. What's up, Sean, dude? Thanks for checking us out, man. We love you, bro. So anyways, before we get any further with this, man, let's go ahead and introduce our guest for this week, Mr. Nate Thompson. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up,
man? You guys having me?
Oh, dude, it's no problem. Like I was telling you before the show, it's nice finally being able to actually get a chance to sit down and chat with you, considering how close we've lived to each other within the last 20 years consistently.
That's probably a once in a lifetime occurrence. I don't think that will ever happen again.
No, it's definitely a very weird thing when you figure out, well, it's like, well, you were in this town, now you live in this town, like during the exact same periods I was in that different town. It's like, what the fuck?
Right.
But
right.
Very, very interesting for sure, man. So, anyways, before we get into this movie,
you can only use the same glory holes, but for so long.
Well, if you knew the area, like what, there's like maybe one truck stop in between where you might find glory holes.
100%.
Oh, I thought that was just at the Meijer in Ohio.
The Meijer's not that bad.
He says the glory holes are the best.
They are the best. But anyways, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about you and what you do? Nate.
I apologize. Say that again, sir.
I said, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit?
Wrong. Yeah, lagged at the wrong part.
I said, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Perfect, sir. Well, my name is Nate Thompson. I'm a filmmaker now, I guess I would say. Originally, how I started in all this was photography. And I just started kind of developing a rather creepy, moody style. And I don't know. I guess once you learn photography, it's just a little bit of a leap from there to kind of transfer it into videography. And then if you know video, it's just kind of a little bit more to put together a project, that you've written on the side and that you've actually, gathered a group of people around the film. And that's really what we did with the first one. So I'd say I'm just a good old-fashioned filmmaker, man.
That's awesome. Believe it or not, our very own Mr. Ron Bertie is also a filmmaker.
Wait, which one is that?
Huh?
Which one is that?
That's Imposter.
Oh, is it?
Featuring Imposter, Social Media Massacre, Becoming Undead 1 and 2 for sale, and many more.
Did you switch the cover? Because the cover's supposed to be me on in front. Yeah, okay, yeah, there you go.
I had it backwards. The other side actually had you very clear. That's why I showed that side.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Ron, how many Blu-rays do you have out?
2.
2? Okay, I need a whole bunch of them because I got a bunch of Blu-rays that were given to me a while back that I really don't need anymore.
Oh, so you got to replace them?
Yeah, I got to replace them.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Wink.
You're supposed to use those to just shoot. But a little inside joke there. But I guess before we go ahead and get into the movie, do you mind if we play the trailer for your film Cult Affairs?
That would be wonderful. Absolutely.
All right, so let's go ahead and let everybody check that out real quick.
I don't think of me and my men as a cult, Mr. James. Rather, I think of us as a group of individuals with beliefs. A subculture, if you will. Do you believe in the death of Mr. James?
Nice. So nice little teaser trailer, that's for sure. Definitely gets us a little bit excited for it. I
felt it move.
What was that?
I felt it move.
I believe that. Do you have a release date set or anything for this yet? Or have you, how far along in this project are you?
So it's kind of a weird thing what we're doing. So we released a short film called Cult Affairs as well. But I felt like we kind of have a little bit more hype than most short films would have just because of the extra stuff we put in with like the design work and the marketing work and the different kind of like promotional posts that, some short films might do, but others might not. but I felt like we just had this kind of decent following, so it would almost be smart to keep the title the same for the feature film. So we have a short film, Cult Affairs, which was released in February, and then we have Cult Affairs, the feature, which I want to release in 2022. I don't have an exact release date, but I know I'm kind of pushing for like a late summer. Everyone's kind of pushing, saying like, "Hey, we should do fall," but I just feel like if we do late summer, it would be, I don't know. I think we could. It would just be the best time to release it then. But as opposed to like what exact date, I'm not really sure yet.
Right. Fair enough. I'm just curious on when we can see something bigger come. And by the way, you made our buddy Perry wet his pants. So he does.
That's not hard to do though. So.
It's still a compliment.
Yeah,
for damn sure, man. So, anyways, it's really cool, man. I'm really excited for you, and
Thanks,
I can't speak for everybody, but I'm going to speak for all of us and say I'm pretty sure we all can't wait to see Cult Affairs when it actually gets released.
I'm intrigued.
Hopefully, you'll come back on and actually let us see it. So,
of course.
I like the title.
It's
got much to bring to it. I like it.
Yeah. It's something that he and I have talked about a little bit before. So I'm actually I've been interested in this project for a little bit. So I am excited to see where he's going to go with it. And of course, I don't live too far away. If he does need a little extra hand with anything, just throwing it out there.
110%. If we don't do it, I'll be disappointed.
Hey, well, you know how to get a hold of me. So, anyways, guys, we are here to
no hand job jokes there, Ron. I was just sitting there waiting in my seat. Okay.
I'm conserving my energy for the walkthrough. For the walkthrough.
Okay. There's lots of cum shot jokes coming up.
I'm trying to just calm down.
All right. So, anyways, we might as well just go ahead and jump right into this. So, we're going to be talking about the 1994 film The Crow, directed by Alex. How do you say his last name, Ron? Proyas, there we go. And written by the amazing James O'Barr, who is a very, very, very nice guy. David Schroe, John Shirley as well, and stars the late Brandon Lee. There's a ton of people in this movie for real. Michael Wincott, Rochelle Davis, Ernie Hudson.
Would have been better.
Tony Todd.
Who would it have been better with?
Michael Berryman.
Reginald Val Johnson.
Well, yeah, and yeah. Everything's better with Reginald Val Johnson. That's just a given. I don't feel like I need all right.
He should have played the Ernie Hudson role.
That's where you're gonna go with it?
Sure.
That's where you're gonna go. He should have played the Ernie Hudson role. I was gonna say he should have been the pawn shop.
He should have been the bird.
He should have been the Crow. You know how bad that would have been?
That would have been
you would have had to have lost so much weight just to do that. Oh man. Oh god. All right. So anyways, Ron, go ahead, take it off, bro.
All right. So The Crow begins on October 30th, Devil's Night. And it starts off after a woman has been killed, and there is Detective Albrecht at the scene, or he's not a detective at the time. Well, I got notes here. Sergeant, because he keeps sticking his nose in where it doesn't belong, and he keeps getting demoted because of it.
That was the shtick.
Yeah, and so he's at the scene of a crime where Shelley Webster was just like raped and beaten. And she lies dead on the street, but she wasn't dead yet. You find out later. And there a girl, Sarah is there. And apparently Eric and her boyfriend and herself take care of Sarah. And then it cuts to 1 year later, and you see like this crow tapping on her boyfriend Eric's headstone, and it like brings him back out of the ground. And he kind of puts on this jester type face and listens to the Cure. And it's
a great scene. That's amazing.
It really is. And it might actually, believe it or not, that might be one of the scenes that Brandon didn't film.
Right. There was a bunch of scenes in the movie he didn't film. But you wouldn't know it. I mean, it's crazy.
We'll get to that in a minute. So basically he just goes on this this rampage, to get revenge on everybody who had a hand in his and Shelley's deaths. And first he goes after Tintin, then he goes after Fun Boy. Now, I'm going to deviate for just a second because it's important to bring up Michael Massey, the guy who played Fun Boy, because a lot of people think that Brandon died in the sequence where he gets shot,
Steve.
where he gets shot and he falls out the window.
Yeah, no, it's the scene where he's on the table, isn't it?
No, it's everybody thinks that, but you'd be
it's where he's like this, and they shoot him when he first.
No, it's a scene when he walks into the apartment carrying groceries.
No shit.
Yeah, and what had happened is originally it was set up to be where they threw a knife at him and it stuck in his chest, and the makeup effects guy was like downstairs rigging something up so they could do that, and at the last second they're like, well, we're gonna go with gunshots instead.
Oops.
Like, yeah, oops in fucking deed. Now what happened is the gun it shot caps essentially, right? But the caps, what happened was, and they had a guy demonstrating what happened.
They had dummy bullets.
I wouldn't even call it dummy bullets. There is a projectile, but the problem is they didn't check to see if there was an obstruction beforehand. Because what ends up happening is after you fire it, it leaves something in there.
Yeah.
So you have to take it out. And what ends up happening is it still has the same kind of pressure. So when they shot it the second time, that little thing came, a little piece like this, resembling Chuck's penis, came out, and and it hit Brandon going at like 3,000 to 5,000 psi.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that was not a good thing, and they wanted, and the producers. What's that? And
I watched it last night, and one of the things that I realized that kind of struck me was like, Jesus Christ, the amount of scenes that they had where he was getting shot at. And like they didn't try to mix it up really that much. It was just really just like it's like goddamn, no wonder there was how many damn scenes? At least 7 of them.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing that actually what Ron just said. Like I thought it was a totally different scene.
You'd be surprised how many people think it's a scene where there's like 20 guys shooting at him at once.
Yeah, on the table.
It's a simple little boom, and it was a second thought of them just being like,
the guy that played Fun Boy the rest of his life, because he was the one that pulled the trigger. Yep. It fucked his head. Yeah, up until he died too. Yeah, he died a couple years ago.
Yeah. There's a couple of other weird things about this. They wanted to cancel the movie because you can't really finish it without Brandon. But his fiance and his mom, Linda, were the ones that said you have to finish this movie for him, because he was very proud of the work that he put into it. So the makeup guy made a mask that the stunt guy would put on. That's why Michael Berryman's character, the Skull Cowboy, isn't in the movie. They had shot one scene with him, but apparently it's real dialogue heavy. So you can't have the second scene if the guy can't talk.
Right.
So they had to cut it out completely.
I didn't know Michael Berryman was supposed to be in that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Skull Cowboy is he's
still credited in the IMDb's, even though he wasn't in it.
In the comic book, he is kind of like Eric's guide through limbo.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of, he was supposed to be in it.
That's crazy.
Here. And what's funny is this film let me finish the walkthrough and then I'll get to the other stuff real quick. So he comes back and he just starts running through motherfuckers. Just, and he reconnects with Sarah. He explains to, he kind of like befriends Officer Albrecht at this time. And at one point,
still wearing your hat.
Yeah. At one point, he absorbs all the pain that Shelley had. Mm-hmm. What was it, 30 hours of her suffering?
Oh yeah.
And the officer stayed there the entire time, and so Eric's got this in his head now, and he goes after all the little and I love the interaction between him and T-Bird before T-Bird dies.
Yeah.
And past the devil stood and saw how awful goodness is. It's just.
Hey, you man, you died, man. You ain't coming back. There ain't no coming back.
That was one of the best actors in that film. I thought.
I've always loved that guy.
Well, he was the guy from the Warriors.
Yeah.
So Warriors, come out and play it.
I've never seen that. Was he in that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's a main character.
I still have never seen that.
He's like the main villain. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, he plays a great villain.
Oh yeah, and then what ends up happening is the guy who runs the whole organization, Top Dollar, played by Michael Wincott. Amazing performance, because if you watch this one and then you go watch Alien Resurrection, you're going to be let down because that movie is fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But then his weird sister that he's fucking is into like the occult, and she finds out that if they kill the crow, they can kill him.
She has the pretty eyes.
Yeah. Oh God. But one of my favorite scenes that I kind of glossed over is when he goes into Gideon's pawn shop.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
When he's sitting there looking for the rings and he's got his eyes closed and he's just going like this.
And he just
finds it and he's like, it's like he doesn't need. It's like it's so fucking awesome. And then is that gasoline I smell?
Yeah.
And then boom. It's so fucking good.
That's right around there where we actually get a appearance of the author as well.
He's a looter. He takes a TV.
Yes, he does. James O'Barr.
And
you're looking for a corner. Shit for brains.
Oh yeah.
I'm dead.
I know this movie.
And I move.
Yeah.
So and then the big fight happens. The crow gets injured, and so Eric is starting to become more vulnerable. And eventually he kills everybody, gets up to Top Dollar, and he uses all the pain that Shelley had to go through for 30 hours, and he just like puts it in the dude's head. And that doesn't kill him though. Falling from the roof onto a giant spike does.
I love it.
And then
it would.
And then that's where Eric and Shelley are reunited, and he goes back to the land of the dead. And then we get the Crow City of Angels, which we're not going to talk about.
We're not going to talk about any of the other ones.
We do get a grown-up Sarah.
Honestly, I didn't mind it.
The soundtrack was better than the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
This soundtrack is probably
it's my favorite soundtrack.
Greatest soundtrack to any movie. Period.
Yep.
I think it takes a very, very close second for me to the Dawn of the Dead soundtrack by Goblin.
I can understand that, but I'm gonna have to go the other
Lost
way
Highway. Lost Highway.
That was a good one too. Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
So a couple of things. They actually did a complete episode of Cursed Films on Shudder about this movie because of all the bullshit that happened. On the first day, 2 electricians had an accident. One of them got 3rd-degree burns and lost his ears. Then
he just couldn't find them.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it.
I put him somewhere. What?
Both of them?
What's that?
You said both of them?
Oh yeah.
Like such an even cut.
Yeah, right. And then they were shooting in North Carolina, yay tax cuts, and they had to deal with a hurricane, which they were calling Storm of the Century at the time. And then a staffer was made to mention in a trade, I think it was Variety, said, "Well, at least nobody died."
Oops.
Yeah, oops.
There's a lot of weird shit with this movie. I know that much.
They cast Brandon Lee. They only auditioned him because they saw him in the movie Rapid Fire.
Yes.
And they loved it.
I love that movie.
But what's weird about this is Bruce Lee didn't finish his last movie either. Game of Death.
No.
So it's kind of, there's that whole thing.
The Bruce Lee, the Lee curse.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Brandon
that's one of the reasons why his sister
do too much in this at all.
That's one of it why his sister never went into acting. I never really tried to.
She was hosting some weird.
Yeah, I used to watch it.
Yeah,
I used to watch that shit. It was fucking ridiculous. As a kid, I loved it.
And then what else was there that I had? Oh, and the David mentions the Crow TV series, which is fucking hot garbage.
Oh god, that is.
So what's funny about that was, okay, before I get into why I'm bringing it up, it's funny because Mark Dacascos, who plays Eric Draven in that, also plays the Jean-Claude Van Damme character in the Time Cop series.
That's right, yeah.
So, but the Skull Cowboy does show up in the Crow TV series, and he's played by Kadeem Hardison of Another World, the Cosby Show spinoff.
I remember Another World.
Yeah.
I used to watch that when I was a kid.
I think A Different World. Another World is a fucking
different world. Yeah.
I don't know anything about. I'm trying to forget about Cosby, much like the. Never mind. I was going to go.
Yeah.
Go when we're real dark.
Wait. They're listening. Everyone, shush.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's pretty much the run through of The Crow, and
Yeah.
God, that soundtrack is so fucking good.
It is, dude. It is so fucking. I mean, The Cure, 9 Inch Nails. Oh shit, Machines of Love and Grace. I mean, Rollins Band, Pantera, doing their cover of The Badge. I mean, oh yeah, dude. That soundtrack was in my tape player, my fucking cassette headset. Okay,
I still have the cassette.
Like,
I only own 2 soundtracks. I'm going to be 100% honest with everybody. Both of them are in my car right now. I have The Crow and Ninja Turtles 2.
Nice. Ninja. Rap.
I totally have Purple Rain.
Jesus and Mary Chain.
Yep.
That's a good one too.
Kill Cult.
Yep.
Rage Against the Machine, Violent Femmes, Helmet. That's the first time I ever heard fucking
Oh,
Helmet.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Dude, I love that fucking song. Yeah.
Toast.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
We're a couple of fucking nerds now.
No, that soundtrack, dude. Like, it was actually fucked up. It was that before I heard Lost Highway, it was that and the Last Action Hero soundtrack.
You know what? I love Last Action Hero. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
I do too. I don't care. I like it.
Now I have to ask you. Now, is anybody else here a fan of the books, the comics?
Yes.
Just the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
So who is your Crow? Because I like, even with me going through and reading all of them, I'm still a huge Eric Draven fan.
Eric, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who would you like to see playing Eric in a remake? Me and Ron had this conversation the other day.
Nope.
Well, you know it's inevitable.
No,
it is one of those things that you know damn well it'll probably happen.
Well, okay.
James O'Barr signed over the rights in a fucking heartbeat.
I actually talked to him twice actually, James O'Barr, and when I talked to him the first time, Jason Statham was attached to play Eric Draven.
Yuck.
And then the second time I talked to him, which was maybe 3 years ago, Jason Momoa was attached to play Eric Draven.
I like Momoa, but no.
Like Draven. No.
He's got to be skinny.
Yeah, dude, I can't do that.
I told Ron, and he might not be a popular choice, but I'm still saying Adam Driver would make a good Eric Draven.
Who's that?
Kylo Ren.
Who?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
From Star Wars,
but I'm against
the newer ones.
I'm against. Oh, I know who you're talking. No,
there's a super tall, lengthy guy.
Yeah, I'm against it though. I'm with Ron on this. They don't need to. They need to leave this fucking movie alone.
They're not going to. They're let Rob Zombie redo fucking Halloween.
Rob Zombie
gonna let this happen.
Rob Zombie was supposed to do the original sequel for The Crow.
Yeah, well,
and I'm kind of glad. I'm now knowing now we know now.
Unless his wife gets killed in the beginning of the movie, then I'm 100% cool with it.
But this should be in it like 50 times, like as like a woman in white, like Halloween 2.
Oh God, yeah. You know damn well
she'll
they're gonna have a remake of this, though.
She'll be Eric.
That they've done what 4 movies, a TV series. It's kind of hard to say that there won't be a remake. And I'm with everybody. Shanty, no remakes. Everyone's no remakes. I agree. I don't want to see a remake, but we're going to end up seeing one.
Hey, real quick though, since Shanty popped up, happy anniversary, bud. It's him and his woman's anniversary.
Hey, Chuck, thanks for telling me and my wife too today.
Oh, that's right. Happy anniversary to you all too.
I said it to him earlier.
Well, I'm a piece of shit, so there's a difference.
Well, that's fair. But what's funny is the people who make the Friday the 13th game are attempting to get the rights to make a Crow video game.
Oh, dude, I've been waiting for that my whole life.
I would totally get a Crow video game.
And it would be a single player story based game that would have parts of the movie and parts of the book. So it would be Eric Draven.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think like how the fuck it would be though. Like how would they do that movie? Like as a video game though, like. Because the only thing that comes similar, and it's kind of similar in a way, but my head goes instantly to Shadow Man.
Yeah,
which
I can see it being an RPG of like a weird like a Vagrant story, which was an RPG and a hack and slash.
I don't know. I could see. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool. Like I got a buddy
I
that
know
actually
it's not
knows.
going to be an open world game.
No,
I
fuck
hope
no.
it is all fully set in Detroit though, because I'll fucking beat that game way before you guys. I spent
Well,
a
the
lot
guy-
more time there than you have.
The guy that makes the guy that made the Friday the 13th game, he's actually a really good friend with one of my buddies, and I don't know, I think he'd be pretty cool. I mean, I like the Friday the 13th game and stuff. I know there's some other stuff they're working on too. I hadn't heard about the Crow rumor about that, but that'd be
Pretty
cool.
sure we all agree with Steve there. Rob Zombie will do anything to put his wife in films.
Like I've said before, it's
Isn't
in their marriage contract. She's like, look, if you want to marry me, I have to be in every single fucking thing you do.
Right.
Music videos, live.
If he was like, I'm borderline a midget, I have to take the first person who wants me.
I almost bought. They had 31 on Steelbook at Target when I went
Oh, God.
yesterday, and I almost grabbed it, but I saw Suicide.
How much
Squad
was it?
$17.99. Not worth it.
If it would have been like $4.99, it would have been worth it.
Yeah.
What were you talking about? Sorry, my dog barked because there's some weird shit going on outside.
Oh, they had the Steelbook of 31 at.
Oh
Target.
yeah. Okay,
But
I saw that.
But they had the Suicide Squad, so I picked that up instead.
It's
I like
a
31
much better
lot.
choice.
but yeah, I mean, it's not a lot. It's a good movie, but I don't know why they decided to go ahead and put out a fucking special thing like that for that one.
They do it for all of them, though. Like they have a triple feature one for the Firefly family bullshit.
Oh yeah,
You think
of
that's
course.
bad? You know how many different versions of Star Wars I own?
The only versions of Star Wars I own are the D. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that were despecialized.
The despecialized ones or the original ones?
Right, I know, but it's the despecialized versions. It's not the original versions that came out.
Yeah. There is a bit like I don't know why they even did that because that's stupid.
Because it's super hard to get a copy of the original.
I have them on VHS,
Well, I'm sure you do.
but
Nate, do you follow any of this shit at all?
I've never seen it in my life, but I applaud
Okay.
the marketing.
I'm a huge
Oh yeah,
fan.
definitely. I can't
I-
stand them.
I got a
can't stand
huge
Star
Death
Wars or
Star
Star Trek.
covering
That
up my
and
whole
Lord of the
leg.
Rings, like those are two like mega series that I've never even touched.
Yeah, dude.
I
just
Good. I'm
can't.
glad we're on the
I
same
have a
page.
whole book just on speaking Elven from Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. I'll admit it. I'm a fucking nerd. Whatever.
It's
I think
I'm
we
not
all
as bad
are.
as Ron, though.
If I
Ron's
dive
like
in,
right
I'm
there
gonna
with
really
me.
dive in, and
I have never
I'll
seen
stay on the outside.
Lord of the Rings or read Lord of the Rings.
No, but you're right there with me when it comes to being a nerd.
Oh, fuck yes. Are you fucking kidding me? I had to
No.
beg my local nerd at the comic shop to find me a copy of DC versus Vampires.
See, there you go.
Nothing like Batman and Green Arrow taking on vampires.
All the comic shops in our city call me when they have specific books in because I go there and buy them the day of.
I got an
serious?
email from my local shop, and he's like, "Hey, I got a bunch of John Byrne Fantastic Fours. I'm looking to sell. You interested?" I'm like, "Ooh."
Oh yeah, it's
Now
pretty
that made my dick move.
yeah.
Dude, that's the.
We got
what's wrong.
problems. We got problems,
You know what though? We're not doped up on goofballs. We're not alcoholics.
and we're not from Louisiana.
We're not from Louisiana.
We
We're
don't touch
Kentucky.
little girls.
When you say we aren't alcoholics,
Me and JB.
Yeah.
oh, okay. I should make sure
that
that
No,
also
you're
goes
a
with us
raging
not touching little
alcoholic.
kids either. No, I'm joking.
yeah, no, we're all free of that. Now we're not making any jokes about that shit. Okay.
No, not at all.
No.
But anyways,
Look at my fake Thanos mask.
Hair of the dog that bit me, guys.
That's right. And where did he bite you on your balls? Is that why the cum shot up and got in your beard?
you had to shave it off. So
You're
anyway,
grasping at straws.
I am, but wait, something will happen.
it will. So we went ahead. We did our little walkthrough of the film, but I'm sure everybody wants to know what we actually thought about it. You know, I guess they probably got a fairly good idea. But Chuck, man, why don't you go ahead and lead us off? Let everyone know what you thought of this movie and give it your rating.
Well, first off, I have to say this. I actually would like to dedicate this episode to one of my late friends, Andrew Newton, because this was a movie that me and him watched every day in the summertime when we were like in fucking third grade. And this movie, though, That's the reason why it has a lot of like special place in my heart. It's always been a favorite of mine. As a kid, it was the greatest fucking action movie I could have ever wanted. It was dark. It was violent. There was titties. Not many, but a little bit.
Just enough to get you going when you're a little kid.
Hey, man, there was a pause button for a reason. You know what I mean? And slow.
1994, I was 6. That would have been enough for me.
I was...
I'm 37 now.
13.
So
13.
Yeah. But
so a stiff wind got me hard.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's just how it works, though, right?
Yeah.
But
42 and it's still the same way.
Well, I mean, yeah. But I love this fucking movie. I do. There are things.
Fucking 10.
Well, that's the thing about this, because a lot of people are probably thinking he's going to give it a 10. I'm not going to give it a 10. Damn near close. I'll get there in a second. I was always intrigued. Like we said, that the soundtrack was fucking amazing. I think that the placement of the music in the movie was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of times I hate watching movies where they just throw just random shit in there. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Every song that was in there, every moment that the song came on, it was just like perfect. There's not many movies like that. I like the fact that it's so dark. The funny puns, the dark humor of certain scenes. Now, I didn't watch this movie for like 6 years, 7 years. And I watched it again for the first time after so long, probably about 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. And watching it as an older guy, I do realize there is some cheesiness to this movie, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I love good cheese. But there are moments, I ain't skate dead. That's right. Like, just like shit like that. There was what was the other scenes?
I love how Eric Draven sound like Hulk Hogan there.
Shut up. But
in the deleted scenes, he's going like this.
Yeah. But and the fact that there were so many people, like we talked about earlier, there were so many different actors in this movie that like I've always loved. I mean, Tony Todd, even though his character isn't like in it that much at all, it's just cool that Tony Todd's in the fucking movie and being the perfect role that he could be in that movie. Everything about it I love. I like revenge stories, and it's kind of like I watched the interview with Brandon Lee. It's on the DVD where he's talking about like how many times do you have you seen the sunset? How many times? He's like, well, you have one chance to come back and do some shit to fucking take revenge on the people that you love. It's like, how does that person act? Of course, I'm paraphrasing, and I love that. There's parts of that movie that are really hard to watch just because it is like there's shitheads out there that do similar shit, but they get theirs in the end. You know what I mean?
Well, and why this was all written, right?
Well, yeah, James O'Barr, that motherfucker,
he went through
depressing. Yeah, he went through some fucking shit completely. I mean, he lost he lost his forever. He lost the woman of
his fiance to a drunk driver.
Yeah. It made me feel like a dick. I ain't driving though. But yeah, like it's really sad, honestly. Like the whole this was his therapy of doing this book and this movie. And I don't care how big of a fucking metalhead I am and whatever the fuck, but like I think that the end scene.
You're still a sappy little bitch.
I'm a sappy little bitch, and every time that I see that end scene where, he goes and he sees Shelly again.
Where he's laying up against the headstone and she comes up to him.
Yeah, well, one, there's two things. One, it's a very moving scene. It's a very moving scene, and it's just like, I don't know. It's like you get that moment again. I don't know. And then also the fact that Shelly, there was a girl that I always had a huge crush on. That always looked like her, and every time I watch it, I'm like, man, I always think of her. So it's kind of weird, but I love this movie.
It's really touchy for him because he reaches into his pants and grabs himself.
Why do you think my arm's hurting, man? Fuck. No,
that wasn't a straw I was grasping at. That was like you grabbing at your dick.
But no, I don't give this movie a 10 because I can't pinpoint some things. There are some things in this movie I'm like, ugh. I will give it a 9 though. just because there are a few moments in this movie, like I said, that I don't really care for, just because it's just like, why did you really have to? Because I like the humor and shit, and like some of like the the one-liners that are said and stuff. But there are some things where you're just like, did you really need? That's just kind of stupid, you know. But yeah, I give it a 9. I love this fucking movie, and it'll always be a favorite of mine. And yeah, I always have a special place in my heart. And also, I gotta say, today in 1997 is the death day of Anton LaVey. So I just want to throw it out there real quick.
On that note, JB, why don't you go next?
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
So I'm gonna dedicate this to my buddy Uncle Ron, who's gonna be passing away soon.
I am.
Since we're all gonna be dedicating this now.
Yep.
Chucked it.
Yeah, I will say this though. No, that's not very funny. Go on.
A little bit.
Nah. Go on.
Calm down, Chuck. He didn't bring up Jeepers Creepers.
No. I dedicate it to my friend that passed away in the movie. Like, whatever. Go on.
I don't know your friend. I didn't know the situation.
Whatever. I just told you. It's all good.
Oh.
I'm good, man. Go on. Seriously, it's good.
Fine. Overall,
I masturbate later now.
I said later.
Damn it, JB, you son of a bitch!
Overall, I really enjoyed this. This is something that not only have I actually went through and watched this movie many times, and I will say even the second one's not horrible, but then again, I really like Iggy Pop. The other ones, the series, not so much. The comic book, I'm a huge fan. I love it. I love the story. I love the concept. I love the specific idea of the whole like afterlife with the crow. That whole premise of the story. As I was telling Ron in prior discussions, this is one of my favorite premises of a film. Period. The whole concept behind it is amazing. I know we're talking about the movie, but I definitely want to touch on the comic book a little bit. There are some differences. There's not huge differences, but this is one of those comic books where, like, if you're a comic book fan, you're going to end up having a lot of appreciation for something like this, just for the simple fact that, usually, all right, Ron, all right.
Yo.
For instance, when you see a comic book, how many names are usually on there? Minimum.
Writer, artist, inker, letterer, the editor and chief, probably 7 or so.
Right. Yeah. So when you look at this right here, James O'Barr did all of it. He did the artwork. James O'Barr started off doing artwork for the Army back in the day, doing the comic strips and safety strips for So all the artwork, everything this is all James O'Barr's work. So it's like when you're reading this and actually looking through it and everything, like this is all one person. So like usually when you're sitting there reading something, you have like you said, like 6-7 people's names attached to it, which gives it different perceptions at different points. This is one man's fucking story when you really break it down, and a fucking amazing story at that. I don't want to get too much into the comic book. Like I said, we're doing the movie. The film itself, I'm going to go ahead and say, I think Chuck hit it like right on the head there. I give this a 9. It's not like my all-time favorite movie, but this is a movie that I watch at least a couple times a year. Like I said, I love the concept of it. I love the dark grittiness of it. It's almost like it's like they tried to, I guess, in a superhero world, like this is what Detroit would be like if it was set in like a Gotham world. Like Detroit really doesn't look like the way they made it look in here. Let's be 100% honest.
Yeah, Detroit used to have a bunch of like
right. Unless those are all the buildings that got burnt down over 4 films and a TV series. Only on Devil's Night. But it's an all-around fun film. The soundtrack is fucking amazing. I'm a huge Cure fan. I think
I was gonna say
Burn is probably one of their better songs. It's a great like the whole fucking thing is amazing. But overall, like a 9. Trying to think like what would be like one of my favorite scenes is I definitely have to go with the pawn shop. Just the way he goes and like, especially the end.
Yes.
He dumps the gas on there, like Ron said, and then takes all the rings, loads them up into his shotgun, shoots it off to blow it up, and then you see the pawn shop owner. What's his name, Ron?
Gideon.
Yeah,
Gideon's pawn.
John Polito. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that the pawn shop's owner would have a pawn shop named Gideon's if his name was George.
No. I was trying to think of his real name, but watching that all blow up and watching him pretty much get thrown into a brick building was fucking great. I loved it.
When Tony Todd puts his hat on when he's at the bar, that makes me hurt every time. Just like,
no, because he doesn't just put it on; he slaps it on top of his head.
But I like I said, I love it. It's a great one. Nate, man, why don't you go ahead and take it from there? What did you think of this?
So this was kind of like what Chuck said in a way. This was something for me personally. I haven't watched The Crow, I would say, for probably a good 10 years plus. So when you said we're going to do this episode, I was like, I better go ahead and give it a good old watching again and basically kind of absorb as much as I can. One of the things, just now since I make films and stuff, it's hard to look at something as a natural point. I kind of always look at it as a filmmaker in a way. And what I didn't realize until now, they shot for that aesthetic that they have, which is amazing aesthetic. They shot most of that at night.
And there were no day shoots at all.
But it was like this. The world kind of just existed. Like time existed and changed, but it just like existed in this world of darkness, which was awesome because they had all these, I forget what scene it was leading into, but it was like a B-roll shot of this, like this classic car, and I don't know if it was beat up or it was just in pristine shape, but they kind of zoomed in on it, and it was all dark, and just the overall aesthetic of this film is something that I really like. But I will say that there is definitely that cheesiness to it, for sure. I will say on the editing side, some of it's a bit rushed, and I don't know if that's because they literally had a certain amount of footage, and they just had to make do with what they had. But like for example,
it might have had to do with editing and somebody playing Brandon Lee's character who wasn't Brandon Lee. So there might have been some issues with that as well.
There were a lot of like kill scenes or just scenes in general that I think just pacing wise, if they just slowed down and like showed, it would have had a little bit more oomph to it. But again, that could have just been because they didn't have that much footage to work with. But even just that, with that and the cheesiness overall, that's really my only complaints about it. I think the overall aesthetic, the storyline, I didn't even realize the behind the scenes, the actual deeper meaning to this, and then the end scene where Shelley comes back again. Like, so now hearing that, it seems like there's always deeper layers to this that you can just sit and talk
God,
about.
this is a deep fucking film. one of these days, I'll have to let you borrow the comic.
Real fast. I have to say there was day shoot. There was a day shoot on it though. There was a couple of scenes during the day. Only a couple.
I thought I seen a day shoot when they were in the office one time, but that could have just been me. But
when she goes and puts the flowers on the tombstones.
Well, and then there's the scene where she's sitting there with her mom, Sarah is.
Oh, in the morning, she's making
and
her
she's.
Yeah,
I'm not cut out for this mom shit anyway. Easy. Right. It's a very touching.
They did all their day shoots in about 40 minutes, so it's fair.
Right? Yeah.
That's with retakes included.
I would say
all the Brandon Lee stuff was at night though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say this is a for sure a cult classic, and I just can't stop saying the aesthetic enough because I think it really, that alone and just all the characters in general really made it a cult classic. I would probably say honestly a 9 out of 10 because it's so close to being a 10 out of 10. But I think when you watch it when you're a little bit older and you just kind of have watched a lot of things, you kind of go, okay,
You pick up on
You
shit.
definitely see a few things. You kind of see through a few things, but at the same time, like you just sit back and it's still a masterpiece.
Definitely.
Fair enough, man.
I agree.
So, Uncle Ron.
Oh boy.
It's up to you, man.
So I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but you mentioned the aesthetic and how it kind of looks old and dark in a way. It reminds me a lot of a live action Batman the Animated Series, if you in a way.
You saw what I was seeing.
Yeah, the way the
I can dig
buildings
that.
are the buildings are designed, the cars, and just the overall feeling about everything. It just feels like, Batman on patrol at night in the animated series, which is not a knock because I love pulling shit out of my ears, which I love the animated series, just like Chuck likes pulling his dick out of his pants. Yeah. And it's just, and Brandon's so good. And that's the thing about Brandon is his dad was the better athlete by far, but he was the better actor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He had the language down better.
Oh yeah.
Showdown in Little Tokyo, man. Him and Dolph Lundgren.
Yep.
I
have it on DVD somewhere in my house.
I 100% believe you do.
But there was just it seemed disjointed to me at certain points. Don't get me wrong, I love the movie, but this is also Alex Proyas is only his second picture,
right?
So it's not like he was an established director. And one of the people who wrote the screenplay, David S. Shaw, was one of the people who almost wrote the script for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5.
Did not know that.
If you ever heard of the Cult of Freddy script that was going around, that was him.
Well, yeah. he did do the Texas Chainsaw at the beginning. He did Critters 3. He did some of the Masters of Horror series as well. He's done a few things.
Right, but I think this was before all that.
Which Masters of Horror? Which Masters of Horror did he do?
He did We All Scream for Ice Cream and Pick Me Up.
Okay.
But he did an episode of Freddy's Nightmares. He wrote Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. The greatest Texas Chainsaw. No, I'm joking. He did Critters 3 and 4 though.
My mom hung out with R.A. Milhoff all fucking weekend. I got to hear about him. I love Leatherface. Right. Texas Chainsaw 3.
Should I send you the picture of me and Gunner?
No. Actually, yeah, I'd like to see that. Gunnar Hansen was
awesome. But
what else has Alex done since then?
Dark City.
Wow. He did Gods of Egypt. That's all I had to think. It was like, oh god, that was trash.
So, but when it comes to editing, my favorite way to describe editing is it's a 2,000 piece puzzle, and it's just thrown on the table. You have to put it together, and they took away the picture so you know how it's supposed to look. That's exactly what editing is.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, it's what will I give it? I'll give it an 8. 8 out of 10.
Ron would have given it a 9, but we all gave it a 9, so we had to go.
No. To be fair, fuck you.
I'm just fucking with it. I'm just messing with it.
To be fair, if this was rating that soundtrack, the soundtrack would be 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, totally.
I think that goes with almost every one of us.
10 out of 10. Yeah, so.
Right. Well, that's fair, man. That is. It's honest, and
it's still something I watch on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So it's not like. I came on here for crying out loud to talk about it, so I must have some love for the movie. It's not like I came on like when I came on
Chuck's
for Blood
face.
Diner. When I came on for Blood Diner, I was doing you a favor coming on for Blood Diner. That was before I was even part of the show.
Right.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Blood Diner to me is one of the greatest movies ever made. So
I wouldn't go that far, but I like it.
Well, like it's like right up there with like Citizen Kane. But I love that movie. I don't care.
My dog Rose actually just jumped up when I said that.
You know what Rosebud meant, right?
Yeah, that's why we don't call my dog Rosebud anymore. I'm not kidding.
What do you think it meant?
He's talking about a prolapse.
A butthole? No.
Yeah.
No. Because William Randolph Hearst had a mistress, and instead of calling her pussy, he called it Rosebud.
Oh, good.
So that was Orson Welles'
pussy.
Yeah, basically saying pussy.
I knew exactly where Chuck was going.
Love socket.
Fucking A, dude. So, anyways, guys.
Sheriff's badge.
As always, it's always a fucking blast. Nate, man, before you go, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and all of your work? I have went ahead and shared your YouTube as well on Facebook, Twitch, as well as YouTube. But feel free to go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, where they can message you, get a hold of you, etc.
Yeah. You can find me Facebook.com, Nate Thompson Video. And then, I got Facebooks for my short films as well. Yeah, Facebook.com/Cult Affairs and then Facebook.com/The Cult Leader. And then I pretty much post routinely like the updates for that. And then for the horror feature that we're working on, it'll just be posted on all of my social media. So Facebook's a good
awesome. Very cool, man. And dude, thank you once again for coming on. Thank you for being part of our Halloween episode. It's always
come
a blast.
on again sometime.
Oh yeah,
100%.
yeah, definitely.
Yes, be like Chuck's beard and have come on you again.
Next time, I'm gonna make sure it's not as good of a movie though. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, you gotta treat him like you treat Andy.
Dude, don't torture me with some of the bad ones.
Poor Andy.
Well, we've done some bad ones. I made everybody watch Pinocchio's Revenge.
Didn't make me watch it.
Hey man, Sorority Girl is the creature from hell. That was a good one.
The Undertaker's friends or whatever.
That had like no
Undertaker and his pals. We haven't done that one yet, have we?
No.
Oh fuck, we need to do that one. I love that movie.
Oh my god, yeah, I know you mentioned it at least 20 times.
I love that fucking movie. It's so ridiculous. I want to rewrite it one day. I'm going to.
It wouldn't be hard to make it better.
I've been saying it for 20 years. I'm
just erase it all. It's already better than what it was. So, anyways, thanks everybody for watching. We love you all, dude. Like I said, Nate, dude, thank you so much for being part of this. It's always fun. And yes, Shanty, you did. And I guess we're gonna go ahead and end on a end on something that I've said over many episodes. Fuck you, Jason Blum, you fucking piece of shit. I hate you.
God damn it.
And with that being said,
fuck you, Zack Snyder and Eli Roth.
Wait, really?
Thanks for listening, kiddies. You're all a scream.